it's Presley at ActOutGames.com here, and today we are finally doing the review of Hollow Earth.
It's definitely finally.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I don't know, it's been a long time. Let's not even talk about how long it's been, but it's totally my fault. Like, 100% my fault. Presley read this book in like 2 days, and then
it's a good book.
we got ready, I was reading it, and we started getting ready to go to NerdCon stories, which was all about authors. And so we got this huge list of authors dumped on me that I wanted to read their stuff and be ready for NerdCon. So I read a bunch of that stuff before NerdCon, and then after NerdCon, I really loved Patrick Rothfuss there. And so I read his three King Killers books since we got back from NerdCon, and one other book, I can't remember what it was.
The Night Circus.
The Night Circus, yeah, I read The Night Circus because people were talking about that. So I've read like 8 books since we decided this was our book of the month, and I was trying to get, and I just got totally sidetracked, and I finally sat down and read it this week.
Yes.
And I feel bad it took so long. It's totally my fault, not Presley's fault. So I probably remember it better than Presley now because I just finished it and she read it a couple of months ago.
So, yeah, I will have to recall some certain events that happened.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, the Hollow Earth, written by...
written by John Barrowman.
John Barrowman and his sister Carol, is that right? Yeah, Carol.
Yes.
Carol Barrowman. So we'll do I'll let you do a quick summary here in a second. But it reminded me a lot of the History Keepers.
Oh yeah.
There were lots of elements that were very similar to the History Keepers, like the island monastery and like all of those kinds of things, and the kids with the special abilities and stuff.
I never finished the second History Keepers.
You
Now that I think about it, I need to read it.
But it was another like British book, like we had to get it from the UK, and like, Frankie recommended it. So Frankie, I think you would probably really like this one if you haven't read it yet. So I'm going to tag you in social media so that I make sure that you see this, but I think you would probably really like this book if you haven't read it. So you want to give us a quick rundown on what Hollow Earth is about?
Sure.
Without being too, this is the not too spoilery
yes,
part.
I will attempt.
Yeah.
If I'm too spoilery, just stop me.
And at the end of this video, we'll announce the new book club book and the live event for this book.
Yeah, so stop me if I start getting too spoilery. So it's about these two twins, Matt and Em.
Yep.
And their mom kind of like gets... So they go to this island, and there's these people, and they can animate themselves into paintings, which basically means they can put themselves into paintings. The first few times it was used, I got really confused because I'm like, no, they're not. What? Because animation is like,
they call it animating.
Yes.
Yeah, they so animes.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I say what they are. They may be saying it wrong.
Yeah, it's.
But they so there's a group of people who have the ability to make their drawings become real. Yeah. Right? And so this is sort of a known superpower kind of thing that exists in this universe of the book. And there are many people, not many people, but there are people who have this ability. But the twins, Em and Matt, they have the ability to go into paintings. Yes. And that's rare. That's unique. Like, there's not other people that have that ability, right? And so so they're looked on as like the super powerful. So if you're looking like the hero's journey kind of thing, right? They're the ones that have the very special ability to be able to do this thing. Yes. And then there are people trying to capture them and there's 2 sides in this ongoing battle, right? Because I just read it, I'll do some of the stuff. Yeah. So there's there's this place called Hollow Earth, which is the name of the book, right? And it's sort of a mythical place in the books where all of the terrible things that people have imagined, like things that you imagine basically can become real, and so all of these monsters and things that people have imagined, they reside in this place called Hollow Earth. And so a powerful enough animate, or whatever, now I'll have to look that up, whatever they're called, they could release these things, unleash these things on the earth, right? And so when someone super powerful comes along, you've got these 2 sides. So I guess, let's say you got 3 sides. Yeah. You got one side that just doesn't believe Hollow Earth exists at all. Yeah. So they think it's just a myth. And then of the people who believe it exists, you have the people that want to unleash those horrible things and the people that want to stop those horrible things from being unleashed. Yeah. And so the kids are getting caught in a tug of war between all of those sides, and they go to this like monastery island, really an awesome sounding location. Yes. And
also representation.
Lots of representation. Yes. Yeah. Go ahead.
And one of the 3 main characters is actually deaf. Yep. Which is really cool to start having more characters like that in literature.
It's fantastic, right? Yeah. I really liked it. I thought that was a cool twist too, and they used it well, and people had to kind of learn sign language to communicate with him. But then, so that you pair up the person who can animate make animation drawings come alive has a partner called a guardian who can't do that, but they can sort of help that person stay calm, because one of the really cool parts is when she gets really excited or scared or freaked out, like all of these things in her imagination start coming alive, and like spiders are attacking them and vines come out of the woodwork, and like all these creatures come and start attacking them when she has a panic attack, basically. So when she has a panic attack, it becomes this physical manifestation of her panic, which I thought that was really, really cool. I loved that part, right? But then the guardian and their animator can sort of communicate telepathically. And so she can telepathically communicate with Zach, who is the deaf boy. And so people will talk to her, and then she will telepathically talk to Zach to carry the message around. And sometimes they do sign language, and they use Zach's ability to read lips to kind of eavesdrop. It's really cool.
So this is not a thing, like, this is a thing that happened to me with a book, like, it's not necessarily as part of the book. But at the time I was reading this book, I was writing and reading a different book. So I was reading a book called Zoe and Zach and the Ghost Leopard. And then I was writing a character named Zach. So there were like 3 Zachs.
Oh, Zachs are all
And they were all spelled differently. All of their names were spelled differently. There is my Zach, which is Z-A, I think.
Z-A-C?
Z-A-C-H.
Or there's a Z-A-K.
Yeah, Z-A-C-K is the Zach from this book, and then Z-A-K is the Zach from Zoe and Zach and the Ghost Leopard, and it's like, whoa, I don't...
So I want to say, like, here sort of early, that a lot of times you'll have someone, like, we really like John Barrowman as an actor, right? So he's an actor, he does like song and dance stuff, he does Broadway play, he's openly gay, and like he brings representation. His character in Doctor Who was sort of gender fluid almost, or certainly his attractions were fluid.
Not gender fluid.
No, he wasn't gender fluid, but his attractions were fluid, right?
It's called like pansexual.
Is there a word for that?
Pansexual.
What is? Okay, let's say pansexual. Okay, that's fine. So his character in Doctor Who like brought some representation to the table too, and him as an actor, and like all of that's really cool, and we really respect him and like him for that. And we met him at Salt Lake City Comic-Con not long ago, and super nice guy. But that's not always going to translate into that person's book being a good book. Like a lot of times that person can sort of parlay their celebrity and write a book and sell a book as another revenue stream to sort of bring things in. But this was actually a really good book, right? Really like I really enjoyed this book. I was afraid it was not going to be good, and I was going to not like it, and I wouldn't want to do this review because I was not going to really care for it too much. But it's actually a really good book, and very creative and really well written, and lots of cool kind of turns of phrase, and like it's just not only is sort of the language really good, but the plot and the structure and the way that they attack it are really interesting, and it really sets up this broader. So there are 3 books. So this is just the first of the series of books, right? And I think the way that they've set up the story to move forward. So like I said, that whole conflict between the people trying to unleash Hollow Earth and people trying to keep it locked away and people who don't believe in it, like you're setting up this long-term struggle. And I think they've done a really, really, really cool job doing that. And then you have the opportunity to draw. Anything you can draw becomes real, and so there are some creatures that they bring into being. And there's also like a side story that's happening the whole time too, which is way back in the past, there were these monks who originally lived in the monastery, right? And they had these abilities, and they were building this bestiary, this book with a list of all of these fantastical creatures and stuff. And so slowly, every once in a while throughout the book, there'll be a chapter that goes back to what was happening with them. That's important backstory and setting the stage for some things that happen at the end of this book. So the way those collide, I think was really, really, really brilliantly done. Go ahead.
But yeah, sorry, the thing I wanted to say is slightly spoilery, but just with a name.
Yeah, please.
I finally remembered what a periton was from.
Oh, okay, what?
There was, there's a coloring contest going on in Flight Rising where you can color a familiar, and one of those familiars is a periton.
There you go.
Like, I knew it was from the book.
So speaking of mythical creatures, and it's on the cover.
Yes.
In fact, it didn't make sense until I read more, until we read the book, but you can actually see, and we'll put a close-up of the little guy there. It's a periton. And so, the other thing that I really loved, like I can't stress enough how much I liked this, was at the end of the book, did you read like the afterword?
I think I did.
So like after the book was done, like the acknowledgments and the thank yous and stuff, they say, okay, a lot of this is fiction, right? But this painting that we use in the book, we loosely based on this painting. And this painting is based on this real painting. And, they sort of map out some of these things. And they say, oh, and by the way, you can go see all of these paintings that I used as inspiration in the Tate in London. So when we go to London in May, we'll go see the paintings that were the inspirations for the paintings that were used in here.
That must have been a really cool writing process, because I'm assuming, like, since it's loosely based on, like, you might have gone there.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt that they looked at these and, like, enjoyed these
yeah.
paintings probably before they even started the book and stuff. But, like, since we're going to London in a couple of months, we'll be able to go and actually, you know, go see these. We'll add that to the list of things to go check out. Well, again, I love the Tate, so that's a really great museum, so that'll be really cool to go see. I was going to take you to the Tate anyway. Okay, and the cool part is that, like, even the characters that they based these they based entire paintings in the book off of just like one corner of a painting that's there. And so, like, when we go, we'll totally have to check that out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited now.
Yeah.
Even more excited to go and see it because now I know there's these hidden things that were the inspiration for this book that I really love. Right?
Yeah.
So, really awesome book. Like, then this is not like we don't do a ton of spoilers here. Come next week. And go to the live event, and we'll be spoilers galore in the live event.
Okay,
right?
yeah, we need to announce the book.
Yeah, so live event, so speaking of, next week, a week from tomorrow, so next Sunday, the 13th, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, we'll do our live event. If you've posted a review, I know Miss Robin did one, and I don't know if anybody else has done one yet, so if you've posted a review, or if you post a review of this book before the live event next Sunday, then there's a chance that, you know, you guys can come hang out with us and be on the live event with us, and we can talk about the book live. So if you've done it and you've posted a review, let us know in the doobly-doo, or not in the doobly-doo. If you can post in our doobly-doo, we got a problem. If you put something in the comments down there, let us know that you've posted a review, give us a link, we'll go watch the review, and then we'll pick somebody and they can come hang out with us in the live event. So that would be awesome. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. But both times we've done it. So we've done it with Frankie now and with Miss Robin now, right? And those have been really good times, so that's good. So you want to announce the book that we're about to start for the next, 6-month book club?
Okay, so the Mysteries of Cove, the Fires of Invention.
Okay.
So this is a absolutely wonderful book, and we were at Salt Lake, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So we were at Salt Lake, and I was on the panel with the author of this book, J. Scott Savage, and one of the people on the panel mentioned to me, oh yeah, these two people are writers, and I'm like, can I read the books? And then we were actually talking to J. Scott Savage after the panel, and he's like, yeah, my book's about steampunk and dragons. And I'm like, give that to me right now.
I'm in.
Yes, give.
Yeah, and he signed the book for us. He was a really, really, really nice guy. Yeah. I haven't read the book yet. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Presley's read it, so yeah, I'll tear through this one, and it won't take as long to get through it this time. But yeah, he was a super nice guy. We went to his booth at Salt Lake Comic Con the next day. He signed the book for us. We got a copy of it. Presley read it again. And maybe by the time we came home from Salt Lake Comic Con, she had read most of it.
A couple days after.
Yeah, so it took her less than a week to read the book, and she was definitely excited about it. So I'll read this one. You guys read this one. Yes. It is Cove, Mysteries of Cove, Fires of Invention. J. Scott Savage.
Yes.
Excellent book, according to Presley. And we'll talk about this one in January.
Yes.
We'll do a thing, and we'll do a live event on it. I will read this one, I promise. So yeah, it even says on the back, Steampunk plus Dragons. So I'm sure that's going to be an awesome thing. So that's going to be the next book. 1 week from tomorrow, live events to talk more about Hollow Earth, which I really loved. I'm glad I loved this, because I really, like I said, I have a lot of respect for Mr. Barrowman. He seems like a really good guy. He's done a lot of really impressive stuff. Very talented guy. And even more talented now that he can actually write like this. He and his sister can put together something that's really awesome like that. So a week from tomorrow, Sunday, 1 o'clock Mountain Time, live event to talk about that. Please join us. Post a review so you can be on it. And Mysteries of Cove will be the next book that we'll all read. Yes. Everybody dig in and check that out. If you've been with our channel for a year, then you know that we're about to start the 12 days of Bookmas here in a week or two. Yeah. So there'll be a ton more books that are coming. Both kids are going to get 12 books leading up to Christmas. And so you'll get to see a lot of the books that we're going to read this year. Or Presley's going to read this year at least. Yeah?
I actually still haven't read some of the books from last year. I need to read them right now.
Yeah, we need to catch up. I read some of your books from last year that you weren't ready to read anyway. So, but now I think we're getting close.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. You want to sign us off?
So yeah, thank you for watching, and it's tomorrow. Bye.
Bye, guys.